In this life, in this life, we must rise and rise again until lambs become lions. What's up, guys? It's your boy Midnight coming to you live from the Midnight Cinema. And today, what do I have for you? Well, I just want to say on this day, it is my father's birthday. So, Dad, if you are watching this, happy birthday to you. I love you, and I'm so glad that you are in my life. So, today, what do I have for you? Well, one of my favorite actors of all time, Russell Crowe. Okay, so and directors Ridley Scott. Um, they made a Robin Hood movie in 2010. Now, when I got the movie, I actually got it on DVD. I have it sitting in my chest on my DVDs. Physical media, I'm telling you that's the way to go. So I have the DVD had the luxury of having the theatrical release and the unrated extended director's cut. Now, I believe the theatrical release is 2 hours and 20 minutes, while the extended cut is 2 hours and 36 minutes, and it's unrated. Um, but I prefer the director's cut, and I'll explain why after I dive into my review of the theatrical cut. So, Robin Hood, what is this about? Well, obviously the story of Robin Hood told in a way that we hadn't seen before, a more gritty version, more of the period piece type. Definitely not that Kevin Costner's wasn't, but like this is, you get that gritty, that war, that these are hard times kind of vibe. Like they are going through it back in England way back then. They are pretty much at war with France at this point. And King John, not King John, I'm sorry, King Richard ends up getting killed in war. So King John has to, ascends the throne. He levies a tax on all the people, not only for Richard's wards, but just because he's that kind of asshole. And Robin is in the army at the time with his merry men, Will and Alan, and then he meets Little John. Obviously, they're in the army as well, but how their dynamic is, it's really interesting. Their backstory, I love it. So the thing is, they dip off after they find out that Richard was killed during the war. They leave, to return the crown to England after they stumble upon an ambush that took place. They beat back some of the guys, the Frenchmen who attacked them in the woods, and go off, give the crown back, pretends to be somebody else. This guy was dying named Robert Locksley of Nottingham. Robin takes his name and goes back to Nottingham after he returns the crown to England, just to honor Locksley's dying wishes. So, why do I love this movie? Well, let's continue the story. I'm sorry. So they go to Nottingham, meets Walter Locksley, who is the father of Sir Robert Locksley. Robin poses as Robert Locksley the entire time. His real name is Robin Longstride, but he poses as Robert Locksley during this time. It's interesting. Two Robs, really, right? Um, so poses as him, takes Lady Marion as his wife, played by Cate Blanchett, who's brilliant. She's always amazing. I love her. Cate Blanchett she's always great to watch. She's always amazing to watch. I swear. So seeing her and Russell Crowe, because Cate Blanchett is one of my favorite actresses, and seeing those two together on screen, that it made it even a more enjoyable experience for me. So Marion's obviously a little standoffish. She hasn't even seen her husband in 10 years because the war, the Crusades, this is the period of time that's taking place in, have been going on for so long. And she hadn't seen him in 10 years. So it's like, well, she's never really had the chance to, be a loving wife or, do her duties. Like she hasn't had that time. And so Robin comes along. He treats her well. He treats her with respect. He doesn't even make any moves on her. It's just like, look, I know what we're here for, and I know how you're feeling. So we're just gonna play this and call it a day. Just keep it casual, no problem. So, but eventually, it comes a time where she does start to fall for Robin, and Robin does start to fall for her. And meanwhile, while that's happening, the tax that's being levied against these people. Actually, no, I'm sorry. King John, he has a friend named Godfrey who is with the French. And Godfrey is, yeah, he's not like a guy. He's played by Mark Strong, and he's amazing. And King John is played by who? Oscar Isaac. This was one of the first movies that I saw him in. Same with Mark Strong. Danny Houston played King Richard. He was great too. So I love seeing him in this. I think the first time I saw him in anything was X-Men Origins Wolverine when he was Stryker. That's a conversation for another day, but I liked him in Stryker. Anyway, so back to Robin Hood. So, yeah, Godfrey is working with the French during this time, and he's just playing John for a fiddle. Gets to Nottingham, finds where Robin Longshot is because they had that running before in the woods. So there's kind of that revenge thing going on there. But and then you get these battles. I freaking love the knights in armor, the medieval times. Those types of battles are always great. Come on, Braveheart is another example. It's just swords, spears, pikes, like that is yes, battle. Like I love it. I love this stuff. Archers and all of that. Like I love those battle sequences. It's incredible. So they did it really well. This movie, they're very well shot. Like I like Ridley Scott's direction with this. Now, I say all that, giving you the story a bit, well, pretty much telling you what happens in the movie. Obviously, England goes to war. Robin leads these men with King John. Sorry, guys, did not mean for that to happen. The camera has been acting a little weird. Sometimes it drops out, but we are still here. But as I was saying, so King John is leading the army with Robin. King John trying to, sway the people back on his side because Godfrey pretty much turned all these people, all the Englishmen against him, and so they hammer it out with France. It's a glorious battle, and you know, Robin gets his revenge on Godfrey as well, and that's the movie. It's a great movie. Um, I kind of just spoiled the whole thing. I realize, but I think it is still a good movie to watch. Like I don't really normally spoil things, but I just hey, if you don't care, cool. But if you do, I apologize. I usually don't. But like I said, it came out in 2010, directed by Ridley Scott, and what I loved about this movie, like I said, I love the period piece. I love the battle sequences, the direction, the dialogue is very fun to follow. There's a lot of smart banter between people, a lot of memorable quotes for me. Like I love this movie. I've always been fascinated with the story of Robin Hood, so that always helps. So I mean, you have Robin Hood, you and bring in Russell Crowe, Ridley Scott, Cate Blanchett. Sign me up. I'm there day one, no questions asked. But when it came out, I wasn't able to see it in theaters, so I ended up getting it on DVD. When I caught it on DVD, I said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch this." Now, for me, for some reason, I just like movies that I don't know. I think I just like longer movies. Why that is, I don't know. But the length of a movie does not mean that the movie is simply better. Sometimes the movies are better if they're shorter. It depends. Some movies could be a bit longer. But I felt like the theatrical release of this was not where it's not as good as the theatrical cut because there's some plot, there's a lot of holes in the theatrical release that are filled in the theatrical cut, like the kids, for example, that you'll meet some kids in the woods. um they are like these little bandit outlaws pretty much, and in the theatrical release you see them, at some point when Nottingham is attacked, they get involved, and then eventually they ride off to war with Marion out of nowhere, right? But in the director's cut, they explain like their backstory, where they came from, why they were in the woods, um, like how Robin actually came in contact with them at some point and trained them, taught them how to be men, taught them how to be soldiers, to be warriors, and then eventually, the attack on Nottingham happens. So now once you get that build up there and they come in and they're like, oh no, we have to protect these people. And then you go a step further with Marion bringing them in because, at the time, England's like, we don't have enough men. Marion obviously doesn't know that, but she's like, "Look, I'm going to fight for my country. I'm going to fight for my husband, who's now dead. Her dead husband. She's going to fight for the lord of that house, Sir Walter Locksley, who's old and can't really do so well for himself. But she takes it upon herself, like, no, I'm going to fight for these people, and I'm bringing them along with me. And they rode with her. See, that was the difference. And I think that's really one of the main things that I think help the story along further, because there's that extra piece there. The dance sequence is a little bit longer in the director's cut, which I love. I enjoyed it. It was a very nice moment in the midst of all of the chaos that's going on in the middle of this war during the Crusade times, and how times really hard, but you get that sweet moment between Marion and Robin where they dance by the fire, and their bond is just boom. And I love it so much. The music is incredible. Mark Streitenfeld, oh man, his score and soundtrack for this movie, it is so good. It like this, the Celtic tunes, the notes, like I love that music. Oh, it's so good, man. Like it's epic, it's rousing, it's like you feel like, for me, I felt like I was an Englishman. I truly felt like I was an Englishman, like I was there for the war, for the battle. Okay, I may have been an archer, maybe a swordsman, if you will, but I did say, "Down with the name of King John." So that, but honestly, like he did such a phenomenal job. I'm not really familiar with the rest of his work, but I know this music from this movie, and I know him from this, and it's so good, so good. I know critics were not fans of it, but in today's time, like right now, it seems that fans and critics are very, very divided. But this is a movie that, for me, I enjoyed very, very much, and I would encourage the rest of you to do so. If you can find it, find that director's cut. Find that director's cut. It's the superior cut. It is the better version of this movie, and but the theatrical cut, like I said, it's not bad, but it's not what the director's cut is, and because like I said, it explains things just a little bit more, gives you a little bit more background. Okay, so definitely find that director's cut, but if you'll still find enjoyment in this one, you'll still be able to find enjoyment in it. But that's just what I've analyzed. That's me. So, guys, this has been my first Throwbacks with Midnight episode. So, eventually I'm going to start going. I have another one coming, Driving Miss Daisy, that I'm going to do, and The Fly. I actually might do The Fly right after this video. So, just some movies that I love, rewatched, and just say, hey, remember this, watch this, and I review it and bring it all to you. So I hope that you like this. If you do, please leave a comment down below. Share this video, share this channel, subscribe to this channel. We are growing. I'm at 138 right now. I am hoping to get to 250 by January, 250 by January, 250 by January. I sound like Dr. Umar Johnson. 250 by February. You got to say everything 3 times so it sticks to the mind, but I said 4. So let's see how it gets through your mind's door. Oh, bars for days. Come on. So, guys, let me know what you all think. I hope that you enjoyed this, like I said, and I will see you in the next video. Remember, 1 pack, 1 nation, 1 smooth how. Catch you guys later. Have a great evening. Y'all gonna check me out at these here socials. I'll see you all in the next one. And by the way, make sure that you stay tuned for all types of content that I got going on at this here channel. Remember, 1 pack, 1 nation, 1 smooth hell.